Universe, give me the strength and conviction to change women's lives today. Hello. Morning, Julie. No, your name's not Julie. Morning, Nicole. Morning, Jane. Morning, Kate. I know a Kate Denham. Morning, Jane. Morning, Jane. Morning, Beth. Morning, Amy. Oh, I'm getting into this sighing lark. I'm loving a sigh. I didn't have time to put makeup on today. Sorry about that. How are you all feeling? Did you all manifest? Hopefully you're all feeling zingy. So I had a few of you message me saying how happy you felt, but that you were really afraid of the crash. And I thought, oh, so that's really important. That is really important. So I'm adapting today's slightly, if that's all right. I mean, I'm just going to adapt the whole 21 days, to be honest with you, but the core will be there, okay? Today was meant to be focus equals feel, which is one of the best lessons I ever learned. I went to a Tony Robbins seminar about 3 years ago, and it was such a powerful lesson that I hope I can do it justice with you girls today, because it was that good. But what I wanted to do was teach you how to protect your happiness, but also to accept low mood when it comes, and to notice what the difference between low mood and anxiety and ruminating are, and how, you know, when you do have low mood, because it happens to all of us, what to do. So, yeah, I will start. So it was new moon yesterday. I am a witch, right? As are all of you. A witch used to just mean wise woman until, you know, we started burning women for being wise, speaking out, saying their truth. Yesterday, Danielle said, oh, I think my friends think this is I think she was trying to say feminist cult, but I was thinking, well, that's not really a feminist cult. How can I make this a feminist cult? I'm joking. But, you know, once we were burned for being midwives and speaking out and looking after other women, so we turned against each other and we got really insular, and we stopped, you know, loads of our traditions stopped. We all used to speak and hold a circle around a campfire, and we all used to manifest on the new moon and release on the full moon. And all of these little ancient wisdoms got lost because of the patriarchy. I'm allowed to say that on this. But anyway, so I'm going to teach you about your cycle, and I'm going to teach you it because for me, this was a real wow moment when I learned it. I don't know about any of you, but I'm assuming that you're into fitness and nutrition and working your body, and I am a workaholic, so that's as far as my working hard goes. But I work very hard, but there are some weeks when I can work and I'm like on fire, and there are some times when I just feel like a slug. Last week for me was one of them. Oh my God, the exhaustion was real. I felt so exhausted. Anyone else feel that last week? So let's go back to the moon. Most of us will ovulate, or if you have an actual cycle, will either ovulate or come on the full moon or the new moon. One is called a red moon cycle, one is called a white moon cycle. When you ovulate on the full moon and bleed with the new moon, so if any of you came on this week, you're in sync with me, I'm the same. We are creators, we're creatives, we're in a creative point of our life. If you bleed the opposite way, you're in a nurturing point in your life, so it's more assigned to midwives older people in the community, people that are looking after people below them, people that are coaching people below them even. So anyway, I'm just telling you a bit about that. So if you came on and you felt the exhaustion last week, but then you've come on and you feel like, oh, anyone feel that? Right. I will get to the point, I promise. So in your life, you have a spring, summer, autumn, winter of your life, yeah? I'm just going to draw this. This is my pie chart for you. I'm just desperate to draw, really. Autumn, winter. Spring, summer, autumn, winter. Can you see, yeah? In your spring, can you see that? There you go. In your spring, yeah, we're talking maiden, mother, high priestess. Sounds sexy, doesn't it? Crone. Anyone ever heard of this? So, in your spring of your life, yeah, so this is like when you're a young lady, when you're a mum, when you are menopausal, and when you're an old lady. Does that make sense to everyone? Tell me if I lose you. So, in your spring and summer, you have so much estrogen, yeah? You have this through your life, but you also have this every cycle. So you have a 4-week cycle generally. The first week is your spring, the second week is your summer, the next week is your autumn, winter, yeah? In your spring and summer, you have loads of estrogen, so much estrogen. And estrogen is the tolerance hormone, but it also gives you loads of energy. So you're walking around, you've got loads of energy, but you are feeling a bit like you need to be part of the crowd because estrogen also makes us want to bond with people. We ovulate, yeah, at the end of summer, and our estrogen level drops. And then we've got no tolerance. And we are like, and in the media we've been portrayed as hormonal, PMT, angry. When we're menopausal, we're like, oh, she's menopausal, she's a menopausal angry woman. And that's the kind of age that the media tries to hide us. But it also when we're in our most powerful, because we don't tolerate any bullshit. The following, we've got nothing left. We've got no estrogen left. We've got no tolerance left, and we've also got no energy. So if you do feel really low mood at the end of your cycle, if you do have a strong pull for your cycle, that is probably why, because you've got nothing left. But it's also when you're in your most powerful, because you're much more likely to speak your truth in that time. So that's when someone says something to you and you're just like, do you know what, I'm done. This is what I'm thinking. This is how I'm feeling. And that's why on the full moon, that's when we release. Anyway, so yesterday someone asked me how you deal with the fact that sometimes you're low mood, sometimes you're high mood. And what I would say to people is, for me, knowing that, I book less in for myself when I'm on my period. I make sure that I have much less commitments. I used to really beat myself up, like I was saying. I used to really beat myself up for not being able to work as much all of the time. And some people, like my PT friends, are like, oh my God, I used to really beat myself up that some weeks I can do, I don't know the terminology, bench, whatever, weights, and then other weeks I can't. And the truth is you physically can't and emotionally can't. Am I losing you all? Anyway, so to protect yourself from low mood, what a lot of us tend to do in that time is binge eat, shop. We're meant to, in the winter, go within, yeah? We're meant to hide at the end of our cycle. We're meant to do less, same as in the winter. But what we do is, as a society, we go home and we sit on our phone and we shop and we watch stuff and we message people that we shouldn't, try and connect. So anyway, now I'm going to teach you what Tony Robbins taught us all. And what I'm telling you is that happiness is not external. Happiness is what you choose to focus on. and what you choose to focus on will be what you feel. So focus equals feel. It's really, really important that you understand that, because we tend to think that external objects will bring us happiness. So as much as yesterday I was like, yeah, manifest this, manifest that, you know, why are we manifesting these things? What do we want these things to bring us? And the truth is, we want them to bring us happiness, love, connection, yeah? So all of those things are available to you in your own mind. Highly recommend the book Woman Code. It explains everything about hormones and different stages of women. It's amazing. If you can start to work with your body, period, power, witch, loads of different books about this. But for me, it was a real like, oh my God, I don't need to beat myself up anymore if I can't work as hard as I did the week before, because I actually understand that my body has rhythms. And so now, when I do a photo shoot, I go hard. I do like 12 women in a day, because that's how I work now. Whereas the week of my cycle, I'll maybe only do 4 women that week, because I know that my body needs that. And I know that for me you can't sustain working at a 10 all the time. Otherwise you'll burn out. And we haven't got time for that. We have not got time for that. But anyway, so everything you want to feel is created in the mind. I'm going to show you now. We're going to do it together. So I want you to take a deep breath and sigh. And I want you to shut your eyes. I'm going to talk you through this, okay? I want you to shut your eyes and put both hands on your heart. And I want you to think, are your eyes shut? I want you to think of a time that you felt so much joy to be alive, and that you felt so connected. And if God, the universe, whatever terminology you use, was a thing, you felt like, my God, I am grateful for my life. And I want you to really think about that time, but also be able to step into that moment. And I want you to really, really think, where was I? What was I feeling? Who was around me? Could I smell anything? What could I hear? Where was I? What was I touching? Was I in my bed? Was I out on a really late night watching the sunset with someone? I want you to really think about that. Stephanie, if you're typing, your eyes are not shut. Only joking. And now I want you to think of a second time when you really felt like you were yourself, and you really felt powerful, and like you had your shit together, like you were the best version of yourself, and that you were like, wow, I like myself, I like me. And if you saw that girl, you'd think, yeah, she's got her shit together. And I want you to think about where you were, what you were wearing, how you were walking, what you were feeling, the people around you, the light, the warmth on your skin. Were you warm? Were you in a hot country? Were you walking down the road feeling like pow, pow? What were you doing? Were you with your children, and were they asleep in your arms? And you thought, wow, this is what life's all about. Now I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to put in the comments how you're feeling. Praying somebody did the exercise. And what I'm trying to get to is that you can control your mind at any time. You have the complete power to focus on whatever it is that you want to focus on. Yeah? When in those times of low mood, of ruminating, you have the power to go back to these times and to say, do you know what? Instead of ruminating, write it down. If something's terrifying you that much, that it's keeping you awake at night, that you feel overwhelmed with sadness or or any of those things, and I'd say if you feel overwhelmed with sadness, I'd say let that pass. But if you feel afraid, or you feel really, really low mood, a really nice thing to do is to sit there, to get yourself in this beautiful state and to think, I have moments in my life to be truly, truly grateful for, and I am happy and relaxed and calm, and start to do that and start to hack your own brain. The more you start to hack your own brain, the more you can trust, and the more you trust yourself. And anyone that tells you that you trust too much doesn't understand the law of attraction, the law of the universe. Trust more, okay? Trust more. I'm not saying necessarily trust people more. We're all here doing our own thing, hurting other people accidentally, not hurting them accidentally, but everyone's trying to be happy. But trust the universe, trust in the process. The second part made me feel really happy, emotional. I've never felt like that, never loved myself in that way before. Emma, I'm so proud of you. Honestly, your mind is so powerful, and at any point that you want to, you can sit with yourself and feel all the things that buying a pair of shoes will make you feel just by going within. So in those times of low mood, of low energy, read books, write stories, write journal, do what we've been doing, because those are the things that will actually improve your happiness levels. You buy stuff, and we're like those hungry hippos, aren't we? Like, we buy stuff, we're like, yes, I got it, and then it just becomes part of us, and we're just exactly the same as we were before. And for a moment, our happiness spikes when we release endorphins, and then it just goes back to normal, and we just level out. And if you genuinely want to improve your happiness, the best way to do it is to practice gratitude. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But today, I really wanted you to realise that you can choose happy. It is your choice every single day to choose happy. And you get to do that by not doing anything other than what you already have. You already have a bank of beautiful memories. You have a bank of sad memories, of course you do, we all do. But what you focus on is what you feel. And for me, that was such a powerful moment. Does that make sense? It might not be appropriate to say. My dad taught me this at a very early age. Of course it's appropriate to say. You're allowed to say, I already know this. It's an amazing thing to do, and teach your children, because, you know, if we are breeding consumers, you know, they watch YouTube and they're like, oh, mum, can I have this? 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 If you can teach your children this from a young age, you're teaching them that they are in control of their own happiness, and we're then going to breed a generation of children that will not need to buy and do stuff and change things to be happy, you know? Oh, the hungry hippo, I mean, that just came to me, babes. So what else did I want to say? And my favourite quote, and someone said yesterday, what books would you say to read around the power of the mind and manifesting? And I forgot. When I was younger, I used to suffer with really bad insomnia, and I used to listen to The Secret Garden every single night. And it's a beautiful book written in the Victorian times, and it is essentially the secret in a child's book. And because I had insomnia, I read something that said, if your brain knows what's coming next, it will find it easier to switch off. So I started listening to The Secret Garden because it was one of the free ones on the audiobooks 10 years ago. And it's so beautiful. It's the secret, but in a story. And they say, where you tend a rose, a thistle cannot grow. And what they mean by that in the mind is that if you have all this space taken up by gratitude and happiness and joy and connection, the thistles can't grow there. The negative thoughts can't sit. You can't feel you can't feel hard done by and extremely grateful at the same time. So, and it says things like, the magic is in me, it is in me. And I love that. So I want you to say that today, the magic is in me. But my daughter is 12 and seems lost. Her emotions are all over the place. I'm going to get her to watch from day one. Oh, bless you. And I put the Smoke and Demons book that I wrote in the resources, I think. And that's quite, I mean, I would love to draw it. And one day when I have time, either I'll draw it or if I have lots of money, I'll commission someone to draw it. But the Smoke and Demons book, it's a really visual thing. And I think I really wrote that with teenagers because I really feel for teenagers at the moment. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Does anyone have any questions? My daughter, yeah, read that one. So much sense. Thank you, Jen. Okay. I'm just checking. Can't wait to try this later as I'm just getting off the train and walking to work. Yeah, you might walk into something if you shut your eyes walking to work. I'm so excited for you all. I'm just checking no one's writing any questions. Anyway, I hope you all have the most amazing day and you tell yourself, what I focus on, I feel. Where you tend a rose, a thistle cannot grow. And what other one? Love your Nigels. Grow your smoke. You deserve to occupy every inch of space that you take up, ladies. I'm excited for you. Bye, girls.